Hello everyone, this is Abhishek and today I'll be sharing my analysis on Nifty Auto and its constituents, preferably the FNO scripts, and hopefully this video will be quite comprehensive, and by the end of this video you'll get overall idea of where these stocks are heading and the reasons behind it. So I would request you to watch until the end of this video. And before I jump to the first chart, do like, share and subscribe the channel guys, and do not forget to press the bell icon so that you don't miss on any of my future videos. So let's move on to our first chart, which is your Nifty Auto chart. So if you would see it, and this is a weekly chart for you as of now. I've been suggesting kind of going on long on the Nifty Auto stocks from somewhere around I think June, July last year, right? Where you would see once it tried to cross over here, it has been moving up. It kind of crossed this gray lines as well, tried to retest it again, jumped up. You see this purple line over here. It's kind of making a good formation around bottom as well, and then these two orange lines that I've kind of trying to highlight this zone. So again, a very important zone for Nifty Auto. It crossed it and then again it tried to test it and jumped. If I just quickly move to the daily chart, it is also forming a flag pattern over here, right? And it today as well, and for the past couple of days as well, it is kind of testing this support zone of 10874, which I've mentioned over here, and it's kind of trying to breach it, but it's kind of unsuccessful. The bears are not getting any traction there, so the bulls are holding it, and I think it's doing a good consolidation, and hopefully in coming days it will move up. So this is the reason why I wanted to share the analysis of Nifty Auto and its constituents. I think it has a lot of potential left to go upwards, and I have already mentioned the targets and stop loss. For very aggressive traders, I've put in the stop loss as 750, 10, 750. But if you see this chart on a wider time frame, then once it, supposedly if it gives you a freak down move, then probably it will test this level, right? This 10 600 zone, and hopefully it will kind of bounce from there. So if somebody wants to kind of have a wider stop loss, then they may kind of consider that zone, but I would suggest keep the stop loss tight at around 10750, below 10750 zone. Exit if it comes down, then probably try to enter somewhere around 10600, 10470 zone, right? So yeah, so now moving on to the one of the biggest constituents in Nifty Auto, being Maruti. So again, Maruti, a wonderful stock. I have been asking my followers in my channel to kind of go long by every dip, and I think it's quite good to be held in the portfolio as well. Some time back I also posted this chart, but again, this for you. If you see this, follows this orange curve, it's forming a cup and handle pattern over here. It breached this pattern, then it again tried to test this pattern and this support line a couple of times and jumped from there, right? Today it also closed above this support zone of 7651. So I would suggest one can look to kind of add up to this level with the stop loss of 7530 with the for the mentioned targets, right? You would find you would find a bit of resistance around 7920, which has been over here, and there's also this black trend line. So this zone will pose a bit of resistance, but hopefully it can kind of come over this resistance soon, and after that it will most likely try to touch this black trend line on the top over here. If I just kind of zoom out a bit, you would see this trend line has kind of been coming here, and it will be somewhere around this 9618 levels. Post that, again it will give a big breakout, right? So this is Maruti for you. Next I'll talk about is Hero Motor Corporation. Now again, a very interesting chart, probably very good to trade as well. It's been consolidating. I'll just kind of quickly jump to the daily chart as well. You would see a flag pattern over here. It breached that. It's again kind of trying to breach it. It's consolidating for quite some time now. You would see not dropping much, but the volumes are dropping. It's kind of consolidating, and again it tried to breach this support zone over here, but closed a bit above that. So I would suggest to go long in this particular script. If you look at the weekly chart, along with this flag pattern over here, just follow this orange curve. It is kind of on a very large scale. It's forming a big cup and handle pattern as well, right? So one can look to go along with the mentioned stop loss and for the mentioned targets, right? Next I'll talk about Bajaj Auto. Now again, Maruti, Heromoto, Bajaj, I have all given the levels in the past as well in my channel, but this is Bajaj Auto for you. It formed a flag pattern over here, and you see that once it kind of breached this black trend line, after kind of breaking out of this flag pattern, it has been continuously moving up, right? And I'd already kind of requested everyone to go long in it, buy the dips for huge targets, and just kind of positionally given very good returns. But now if you see the daily chart, right, it's been kind of consolidating. It's been squeezing within a very short range, and hopefully it should give a good move in coming days on the upside. That is my take, right? So based on that thought process, I have mentioned the support zone, resistance zone. If somebody wants to play it very safe, then probably I would suggest go long above 4169 levels. Else aggressive traders can kind of add around here and up till 4114 with the mentioned stop loss and the targets. Yep. Next I'll talk about Mahindra and Mahindra. Now Mahindra and Mahindra, I did post this chart sometime back in both Telegram and Twitter. Won't spend much time over here, but again it came out of a very big resistance zone, a long time resistance zone. I did mention that going forward this 814795 would be the resistance zone, and once it takes it out, it will kind of move aggressively, and it's been doing that. And now I think this 888 zone will be the immediate support going forward. So for fresh entries, I won't suggest anyone to enter at current market price. I would probably, it'll be best for it to come down, test this particular support zone, and then make an entry, right? Observing the price action around this zone, right? So with the current market price, I would avoid making entry here, right? Okay. One of our favorites the past couple of days, MOTHERSUMI again shared this chart sometime a couple of days back. I said that it's on the verge of making a breakout on the inverted head and shoulders pattern and do accumulate it up to 170. I think probably most of us would have got entry around 175 zone, and since then it's been moving wonderfully, right? So again, the targets already mentioned given, so one can look to again accumulate it going forward, right? Now the next is EXIDE Industries. EXIDE is, I've kind of recently given probably last week itself on Friday, I did ask everyone to add this stock, be it FNO or positionally in cash, but I just wanted to kind of show you this chart pattern. If you observe this orange trend line or orange resistance support line over here, this has been kind of a very, very important support resistance line, which it tried to breach couple of times. Over here you would see it got rejected, over here it got rejected, and now it is kind of, it broke out of this line. It also tried to retest it, and again it's kind of jumped from there. So with the said entry, stop loss, and targets, hopefully positionally it will go to 290, 300 plus levels. Yeah. The next one is BALKRISIND. Now BALKRISIND, I gave couple of days back, my stop loss got hit, but the whole idea was for me to kind of go long over here, but it kind of, it didn't work out for me. The trade didn't work out, but I would again suggest that I think one can look at entering this. If you see, there is an immediate support area around 16, 17, which I've marked with this bluish grayish line over here, and you would see this black line, right, which is a sort of a trend line which is supporting, and hopefully the merging of these two lines probably can create some sort of support for this particular stock. So that is why I've mentioned that one can look to add it with the said stop loss and the targets. If just kind of zoom out a bit, you would see that it has, if you follow this orange curve here, it has formed this cup and handle pattern, right, on a larger time frame. It's kind of, it broke out from here, it retested here this support zone, and it's moved up. So I still feel it's got a lot of potential, so one can look to go along with the mentioned risk. Next is Bosch Limited. Now Bosch Limited, I had requested everyone to add somewhere around here 11,500, and this is the flag formation it was forming, and it's been kind of moving very well up till now. Again, it took a break around this zone. It's been consolidating, moving down, but if you see your 15 350 is the immediate support, so anyone if wants to kind of and it sort of bounced from there today. If anyone wants to make a fresh entry, can do with the stop loss below it. Hopefully once it sustains above this blue line here, will move towards this gray line, and beyond that to this upward blue line, right, positionally. Yeah. Okay, after Bosch, we'll move on to EICHERMOT. And okay, EICHER. If you follow this blue curve, it has formed a cup and handle pattern. Again, this orange line, if you observe, it's where all the action is taking place. It's been either getting rejected, or there's a lot of demand around here. So around this orange gray line, there's been a lot of movement, right, in the past, and it has been testing this orange line for the past couple of weeks, right. Now I think one can look to add it with the mentioned entry levels and the stop loss and the targets. Again, I feel a lot of potential in there for it to kind of move upwards. The next will be ESCORTS. ESCORTS again did share it in Twitter and Telegram couple of days back, and told everyone to kind of this was the call, so I told everyone to kind of enter around this level. Now it has moved up pretty fine, and also it closed above this my next resistance zone of 1389 roughly, which is target 2 for us, and it kind of sort of tested this support zone now and closed just above it. If anyone wants to make a fresh entry, can do so around 1389 roughly, and then keep your stop loss closing basis stop loss below 1374, which is your T1, right. Next we'll move on to TVSMOTORS. Now TVSMOTORS, again, I think the immediate support which I could find was somewhere around here, around this zone, which I have kind of also mentioned here that the immediate support is around 605594. So at the current market price, I don't feel the risk reward is favorable enough for me to go long. I would rather skip it, wait for it to kind of test this zone. If it does, then make an entry and make our move, and with the entry around that support zone with the stop loss that is mentioned and the targets. Okay, after TVSMOTORS, we'll move on to Apollo Tires. And Apollo Tires, if you follow the blue pattern, it has formed a cup and handle. It broke out from there, it kind of sort of retested it. If you see the black trend line, it kind of also broke out from there, and it's been kind of testing this support zone of 234.8 levels, right, and it kind of closed just above it today. So one can go on and enter in the longs with the mentioned stop loss and the targets. Next is FRF, quite costly, but I thought I'll share my view because I feel in the long run it should do very good. If you see in the blue pattern, it's sort of formed inverted head and shoulders. If you follow this purple line, it's also formed a flag over here, and since then it's given a breakout and moved up. My only concern is probably it didn't retest this orange line over here, which you would see is kind of was earlier a strong resistance, it kind of there was a lot of supply over here, then supply over here, this region, then supply in this region, and finally it managed to break out from here. But it hasn't kind of tested um, this support zone now, just to kind of see how kind of how strong the bulls are. But so that is the only worry for me. But again, if anyone wants to kind of try and make an entry here, then probably they can do it with the mentioned support is around 87400. So up till there you can add with the mentioned stop loss and the targets, right? I think on the daily chart, if you see for this black line, then probably it's kind of sort of a trend line, but again, not very convincing, I would say, for the time being. But yeah, if this 87,400 levels can be held, then probably yes, it would be a bit convincing. Yeah. After MRF, Tata Motors. Now, Tata Motors again in recent weeks have kind of given a very good run. If you again follow this orange support resistance line, you would see it's been kind of rejected, and plus kind of at times there's a bit of demand there, rejected over here, and then finally a couple of weeks back it broke out from here. Struggled. There's a lot of kind of tussle between the bears and the bulls, but then again managed to move up. Now again it's near that resistance zone. It's kind of still kind of this bit of tussle between the bulls and the bears. And if I just quickly move to the daily chart, it's forming this pennant, right, which, and it just closed above the support zone, so that is quite hopeful, and hopefully it can move upwards from here. So I have mentioned the support zone here, and the stop loss and the targets if anyone is interested to go long. The next in line is Ashok Leyland, and if you see again this orange support resistance line, a quite important one in the past, a lot of supply and demand zones around this line. It managed to break out from here, which then again around this gray zone it managed to cross it, retest it, move up again, and again it's kind of trying to kind of find support around this zone over here. So I'm just kind of bringing up the daily chart, and you would see this area has been kind of earlier it was acting as a resistance zone, now it's acting as a support zone. So hopefully it's kind of tested this zone a couple of times in the past and few days, and kind of moved up and closed above this zone. So hopefully with this entry and stop loss we can achieve these targets. And the last one for today is BHARATFORG. Now BHARATFORG, if you just kind of move on to the weekly charts, and if you see on a larger scale, right, if you see this purple trend line that I've drawn and the blue curves, it's sort of inverted head and shoulders pattern. It kind of broke out from there, it retested it, and again now closed above this particular support resistance zone, which is now a support. It's kind of retested it a couple of times, and I feel one can make an entry. I think you can kind of 630, 628 is the immediate. I think it should be. I should keep right support over here. Apologies for that. So 630, 628 is the immediate support zone, and just closed, tested it, closed above it today. So I'm hoping this zone will be held in coming days as well, so one can make an entry around here with the hourly closing basis stop loss 624 for the mentioned targets. Right, so folks, these were all the shares that I wanted to quickly talk about. Hopefully this entire video has given you a perspective of where the Nifty Auto and all its constituents are kind of headed, how they are placed. So this is my take, and choose your pick based on your risk appetite, and follow the levels. Thank you everyone for watching. See you until the next video. Bye. Stay safe.